Hi, Eric Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today I'm going to speak about making macro photography using this, a bellow, okay? If you hear some bicycle coming by, that's right, there are many here, okay? So, I've got to tell thank you to several people in order of appearance in this story. First one is Jan Pelka from France, who sent me this. It is a bellow for Olympus film photography, okay? So with that, it was a nice gift with two problems. Then the first problem was from this OM film camera mount to this Micro Four Thirds. So I asked K&F Concept if they could send me an adapter. So they sent it for free. So I thank them very much. I'll leave links in the description in case you would be interested in this. And then the other hand, there is no adapter. You do need an OM lens. So I didn't have any. I've got Micro Four Thirds, but it doesn't exist any adapter from Micro Four Thirds to OM film camera. So no choice. So thank you, Domingo. I don't tell his family name because I didn't ask him if I could tell it. So thank you very much, Domingo, which is his name, for this 50mm 1.4. I have to send it back to him, obviously. So thank you very much. So in order, thank you, Domingo, for the lens. Thank you, Jan, for the bellow that I keep. Thank you, nice gift. Thank you, K&F Concept, for the adapter that I keep. Thank you. And thank you, Eric, for this myself, which is this Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II. I didn't use my OM1 because I wanted to have a simple camera so you could see you could use it, okay? So let's explain how it works. So to be honest, I'm not really an expert of using this because I have a macro lens and I'd never used that before, so I had to spend quite a bit of time to learn how to use it, to make sure I didn't say any stupidities. So people maybe would think I'm wrong, so you can write it, I can make some mistake, okay? But I'm going to explain more or less, okay? So what happened? Why I didn't use that before? Because I've got a macro lens, so I don't normally do extreme macro anyway, so I use my macro lens. But sometimes you want to have a magnification that is a lot bigger, larger than what your macro lens gives you, 1:1. Maybe I want to have a small fly that would fill the frame, that will fill the frame of my photography, and maybe with my macro lens it's still too small, I don't get it that big. So there are two ways. One is to put some extension tube between the body of the camera and the lens, and the longer, the closer you will be able to be from your subject, and the larger you will be able to amplify it or to magnify it, okay? And the other way is to use a bellow like this. You can actually regulate, okay? So the distance from the subject to the lens to the camera will not change, but the fact that you can move this will change how close you can actually place it from the subject, okay? So we're going to see a bit more in details now. I'm going to ask you a favor. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because the more subscribers I have, the more company are okay with sending me gear to review. So it answers the question of many people who ask, what do you think of this or that, or what camera or this? So it's great when I can show them on the channel. So that helps me, and that helps many people who want to have my answers. So I thank you. If you have already subscribed, well, thank you very much. If you have not done it yet, well, thank you for doing it. So let's carry on. Honestly, this is not practical to use, but if you want extreme magnification, this is the way to go. Here is a 1 euro cent here. You see the size? Okay, this is really mini, okay? And here is a picture. This is a close-up of the very, very small stars that are just under the number 1, okay? Without glasses, I can't even see them, okay? So if you want extreme, you get it, okay? So let's speak about how to use it, because what I think is not practical is because there are several things to use. First, the length of the bellow is going to decide on how close you can be from the subject, okay? And the closest you get, the more magnification you get, okay? So this is one thing. And then you need to manual focus, okay? Obviously, if you don't want to focus anything, you leave it there, and then you just move forward, backward until it's focused. But then you have to tune the distance also. So some combination do not work. Maybe you're here and you cannot be at the distance you want, or you're not within the focusing possibility of the lens. Okay, so it's really hard to find exactly where to place the camera, how far to put the bellow, and how to focus. Okay, this is more than like for fine-tuning, and the main focusing would be here, but also the magnification, all this. So it's really really tough to get at the right place and the right size and everything. But there are more things. You need to do manual focusing, because this is not autofocus. It means it is a big plus if you have or not a mirrorless camera, or the possibility to have focus peaking. Even if it's a reflex, maybe in live view you get focus peaking, so you know exactly where it's in focus. So it's really useful because the depth of field is really shallow. We'll show that just after. So don't forget to activate the focus peaking. And then there are more problems. The magnification is so important that any movement of the subject, your picture is out of focus. Okay, is moved, it's blurred, out of focus, because maybe you move forward, backward, or sideways, and then it's blurred. Okay, so I started to make pictures on the branches here. There's no wind, still they were moving. It was not possible. So I ended up going on the card, put on mirror, I put a small branch and also a coin, so you can have a look. Okay, but to have this really steady. So if you are an outdoor macro photography fan, that's a problem, because a slight wind is a problem. Second, it's not just a subject, it's also the camera. You need a serious tripod, so nothing is moving. So I reviewed this one by K&F Concept. This is okay, it was okay, but it's not just that. You need to switch off the IBIS on your camera. If you have an IBIS on the body, obviously on the lens no, okay, but on the body you need to switch it off. Normally I leave it on automatic, but it's so sensitive to any movement that deactivated the IBIS. Okay. Second, you must not touch the camera. So, or you put the timer, the self timer, on 2 seconds, 10 seconds, time enough to be steady. Or you use a remote control, or you can use an app to control triggering your camera. Okay, but you must not touch this because it will be moved. Then, the more you put this out, okay, the less light you get. But this happens also with the macro lenses. You will notice when you're really close to the subject, is physical situation that you lose light. Okay, same thing here. Okay, so if you're mirrorless and you can know the exposure beforehand, you will see that there is less light, so we'll have to drop speed. So more important again to have a good tripod, okay, and not to touch anything. And that's normal, that's not something wrong with it. Any macro photographer know that. Okay, so you will see that you lose light. So if you're on a reflex camera, make sure you check the small bars that you're not getting underexposed, so you have to drop your speed. Don't put your ISO higher because you will lose on quality, and anyway you're on a tripod, so you can drop speed, no problem. Then you will notice that the depth of field is so shallow that it's really hard to get your subject interesting. In this case I got the small stars on the coin, that's okay, but let's say you want to do a small flea, for example, and you want maybe the flea to be fully in focus, not just the tip of a leg. Okay, well, that may be a problem, because in this case you will notice that you need to make several pictures, so you will have to slightly move the focusing ring, really slightly, to move a bit forward and bit backward the focus point, and make several pictures. Don't touch the below because it will change the rest of the picture. Okay, so change just that, make several pictures, and then you stack them in your computer using software for that, and then you will have more in focus. Okay, so this is really hard to do, so that really limits the work. Okay, so my opinion, if you are a person who loves to do macro photography, you just get there, make the picture and go on, that's not for you, okay? This is to be really steady, take time, have time. So if it is a series of pictures, that's fine, no problem. You just make pictures and on the same place, at home, on the table, and do it organized, so the bellow can be locked. So if another day you want to do more picture of the same series, you can place everything the same, this has not moved, and carry on, okay? But this is not the situation. I would go anywhere and make outdoor macro photography with this, because this is not practical at all. For that I prefer a macro lens or to use extension ring. We'll see in another video, okay? But that's a big problem. Let's speak about sharpness. Well, when you use a macro lens are normally really sharp, and sometimes too sharp for other things, but standard lenses are not as sharp. So if you use a macro lens on a bellow, you will get a lot of sharpness and really big magnification. But if you use a standard lens, you must use it around f8, f11, because you will not get a picture that will be as sharp as you would expect for a macro photography. So this is something you should take into account, that when you do extreme macro, normally you also want a sharpness, and using a standard lens on this is not really the sharpest solution, okay? So when I speak about the series of pictures, I would say sometimes people do insects, and as they cannot move, sometimes they just freeze them. They have a spray and they freeze them. They say that after they wake up and that's it, but that's not always the case. I never understood how you could kill any animal, even an insect, for a picture. But well, for me, I would use insect that's already dead to make picture, or as I did, you do pictures of something else, okay? But that's another story, okay? So my conclusion, well, honestly, I think this is not practical at all, okay? This is not the kind of thing you should get to go around, make macro photography and say, that's fine, I carry on walking and that's it, okay? Next flower, make a picture. No, that's not good for that, okay? This is really for extreme macro, when you use it in a place where you are, it's controlled, okay? Light-wise and stability-wise, and then you work probably on a series of pictures, not just one flower, but a series of flowers, and you work on this, all this, and it's all organized, all this. In this case, yes, this is fantastic because you get extreme macro with the problem of depth of field, but maybe if you need that, well, you know that you will have some post-production work anyway, okay? But that's an option. Second, maybe extension tube would be better, but you cannot fine-tune as much as with this, okay? If you want to buy this thinking you're going to save money, you are not going to save money. Although you can find this bellow really cheap, old bellow, nowadays there are new ones, okay? But from the film photography time, you can find them, but then you will need an original lens because there's no adapter on the lens side, okay? So unless you already have a lens, that will be a problem. I would say a lens around 100mm equivalent full frame. Here it's on the Micro Four Thirds, so 50x2 is 100mm. On an APS-C, maybe a 75, something like this, that would be okay, okay? But you're not going to save money with that, because you get the lens, it's expensive if you don't have it already, the adapter, all this together is quite a bit of money. But if you want extreme macro, you don't have much choice, because a standard macro lens will not get such magnification. You would need to put extension tube anyway, but we'll see that in another video. But in this case, yes, you do get it. So if you know what you're doing, or actually what you need to, the kind of picture you need to do or you want to do, this is an option for extreme macro. That works, okay? But still, I think for me this is not practical at all. So this is my conclusion. So thank you very much, Domingo for the lens, Jan for the bellow, K&F Concept for the adapter, and thank you to you for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, small button down here, and also a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, you can leave a comment in the description. I'll also leave you links of my gear on Amazon, links of everything I reviewed by K&F Concept and Sandmark, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. You can also do it under any of my videos, the small heart with the $sign, you can make donation there too, okay? No obligation whatsoever. So thank you very much, please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.